And good afternoon and welcome. My name is Ryan Belmore. I am the owner and publisher of What's Up Newp. It is 2 p.m. on Tuesday, October 13th. We are just 3 weeks away from the general election. I don't know if it's moving as slow as molasses or if it's starting to move fast now. I'm not sure yet, but today is the last day to get your mail ballot application in. You have until 4 o'clock, so just 2 more hours to drop that at your local board of canvassers. You can find a box right out in front of any of your local city or town halls. Starting tomorrow, you could do early in-person voting, which is Wednesday, October 14th through November 2nd. You could do early voting, or you do it the traditional way and do it on November 3rd at the polls. We are highlighting Middletown Town Council members as well as some Newport School Committee candidates today in all week. And here we have Audrey, and Audrey joins me. And good afternoon, Audrey.
Hi, good afternoon.
Audrey Pfeiffer.
Audrey Pfeiffer, Audrey Macleod Pfeiffer, yes.
All right. It's funny because we touched base just shortly, and I was like, oh, shoot, I should have made sure that it's Pfeiffer. Mm-hmm. Good enough. Tell me, Middletown, if Middletown voters do not know who Audrey is, tell me a little bit about yourself and your background.
Okay. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for 46 years. I'm semi-retired now, and I work in several of the various public schools as a substitute school nurse in Barrington, Portsmouth, Little Compton. I signed up recently, and Middletown. I have lived in Middletown since 1992. My husband was in the Navy family. His dad settled here in 58. We moved back here in 1992, raised our family. His mom was getting older and wanted to have, some support at home, so we provided that. And let me see. I think I'm creative and innovative. I have always kind of been involved in the periphery of the community, helping out with Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, my church, the PTG at school, etc., but never really could commit to, serving on any kind of formal, town council or school committee or whatever. Raising a family, working. I was in Army Reserves for 21 years. I'm a retired Army nurse. And, it was just a lot to try to fit in running for any kind of office, having discussions with different, friends and acquaintances. And we would be talking about things. They often would say, oh, you should run for council. You should run for school committee. But who had time? So now I have time. So I'm throwing my hat in the ring.
Excellent.
And I'm unaffiliated. That's another thing. It's a nonpartisan election, but I'm unaffiliated. I believe in voting for the best person. Whoever.
Excellent. Before we move on, thank you for your service, as well as thank you for being a nurse. Certainly a round of applause for all of the nurses out there. Was there any one item or any one reason that this was the year that you were, I'm throwing my hat in the ring, I'm doing it this year?
I think I was sympathetic to the 1,200 voters that took initiative to get a petition to ask our town council to at least explore and talk about having a joint regional school. It wasn't a commitment to go forth with it. It was just a request to please look into it. And I was disappointed that they didn't agree with the legalese of the writing of the petition. And I felt that that was just not, the right thing to do. I feel that they expressed a concern. They had a voice. They went through a lot of energy to get that. And I think it should have been listened to. So I think that was probably one of the main things. Yeah.
Okay. And, what have you been hearing since, I guess, June, when everybody had to declare the candidacy? What are you hearing from your friends and fellow voters and parents out there that they would like to see done on Middletown Town Council?
Well, I think they want to be heard. I think they want people who will listen to them and take into consideration their concerns and their goals and their vision for the town. I think people are concerned about the schools. I believe we should have more vocational and trade opportunities for the kids. And I actually wrote a letter a letter to that effect to Newport this week about how, you know, trades and vocational jobs tie into our community and our businesses and our trades and whatnot. You know, for example, Electric Boat received a contract with our federal government to build subs for $9.5 billion. They had to fly welders and pipe fitters in from southern states to do that work because we didn't have the workforce. Those were good paying year-round jobs. You know, a lot of our economy is based on the hospitality industry, and that's great in the summer, but in the winter, it's not so great. So I think we need to, you know, step that up. So schools, that's one thing. Trying to get year-round sustainable jobs that pay well, and housing. Housing is a big concern, affordable housing. We have a lot of people that have invested in the area, you know, bought second homes, or they're buying them to rent or whatever, which takes out of the market the opportunity for people who would like to have this town as their residence being able to, you know, buy into the town. And so that's a problem. I've heard that almost 50% of our real estate is, you know, second homes or rental property, and that's a problem. And then the other issue is affordability. You know, I read in oh gosh, I think it was one of the local magazines. They published some information about the various towns, and they said that Middletown, our average income is about household income is about $67,700. The average cost of a home is $350,000. If you can find a home for $350,000 in Middletown, that's like a bargain home. So what percent, if a family wanted to actually buy such a home, in order to have a mortgage of about $1,500 or $1,600 a month, they'd have to have about a $65,000 down payment. So is it realistic to think that they can save that and pay a rent? I mean, rentals now for 2 and 3 bedroom homes are anywhere from like $1,700 to $2,500. So, you know, what are we doing? You know, how can we let people who want to live here and contribute to the community be here? And we need to have the people who work here, our teachers, our firemen, our police. I think if they work in the community that they live in, they are more, you know, committed to the community. So I think those are 3 big issues: school, jobs, and affordability of homes.
And I know you mentioned, you know, that, you know, when the 1,200 voters went to Middletown Town Council and weren't heard, that bothered you. But do you also have a belief that regionalization is the best way for Aquidneck Island schools to move forward?
I think we need to explore and find out, and what would be the cost savings. Are there going to be cost savings, not just for now, but 5 years down the road? I think we need to, you know, find that out before we can really make a determination. I know there are several other communities in the state that have regional schools. I have a lot of relatives that come from the Canadian provinces where my parents generated from, and they have many regional schools up there, and it seems to work out. We have some here. But let's just have the discussion. And even if we decide not to have the schools regionalized, maybe we can at least agree on how maybe we could support each other, maybe through joint teaching, you know, teachers' conferences for their educational requirements, maybe clubs for the kids after school, sports, maybe career fairs, trade fairs. You know, there might be other areas that we can support ourselves, or support each other, even if we don't decide to regionalize. But let's just have the discussion and find out. You know, someone suggested to me, maybe it would be worthy to have an outside group do an objective assessment of the situation, to take any bias out and to tell us what they think would be a good plan. I went to the meetings that they had at CCRI a year or so ago, where they featured 3 regional schools, and all of them had very good things to say about it. So.
and we might be going with a theme here, but let me ask a question. There are 18 people running for Middletown Town Council. Why do you think so many people are out there running?
People told me they just would like a change. They would like a change. They would like to see new faces, maybe some new ideas. I know I did hear from the Citizens for Exploring School Unification, and they were upset that, you know, nobody listened to their request to have an exploration of the issue of regionalization. Maybe people feel it's just time for a change. I think that's what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Just ask candidates, you know, why. Do you know what number on the ballot you are?
I'm way down there. I think I'm like 5th from the bottom or something.
Okay. All right. So you're around number 13. People should just look for your name and they'll be able to find you. You know, tell us, you know, why people should vote for you. Why are you uniquely qualified to serve on the Middletown Town Council?
Well, I'm a nurse, so I have a global perspective when I look at things. I'm also, as a nurse, we are problem solvers. When I was in the military, you didn't present a problem without having at least 2 courses of action to suggest to resolve the problem. So problem solving is, I think, a big skill that people need to have. Also, to listen to people. This is their community. We're representing them. Government should be for helping people, which as a nurse I've been doing pretty much all my life, 46 years, plus 3 years in nursing school. That's 49 years. That's a long time. And so why not try to help people in a larger, more global scale? I think I'm honest. I don't have a brother-in-law that needs a job. I don't need to have a husband who needs a contract. You know, in Rhode Island, that's always seems to be a thing. You know, is there an ulterior motive for people getting into positions of authority or power? But I just want to have a turn, you know, serving my community. People have encouraged me. They think I would be, you know, good. And so I said, why not?
Excellent. Well, I give credit to anybody who volunteers their time, and make no mistake about it. Anybody watching, this is a volunteer position. Even if you get a couple pennies for work, it's certainly a volunteer position. And so anything else that you want people out there to know about you, or where you stand, or issues, or anything else?
Well, I was contacted by Newport.
Okay.
I think that, you know, bike trails are important. Walking trails are important as a nurse. That's a good way to have physical exercise. These are things that benefit all ages. And so I think they should be encouraged. And maybe we can look at streets that are wide enough to provide them. Look at when new streets or whatever are going in, that they provide a bike path. If we could get more sidewalks in our town, that might help kids be able to walk to school safely. That's an issue. You know, most of our kids have to be bused because we don't have a lot of sidewalks. So that's one area. It would be great if I could have some kind of impact on the development of the Navy area down there on East Main Road and Connington Highway. People have asked me what are my ideas for that. And I think it should be mixed use, some residential, some commercial, have some bike paths and, you know, benches where people can talk and meet and communicate. We don't have a town center, and that's kind of too bad, because it's really an area where I think we could meet and do things, and maybe have like a fall festival and maybe a winter carnival, and, you know, just maybe bring some cohesion and togetherness to the town. What else? Maybe with zoning, we could look at how can we get some affordable housing? Could we maybe change some of our zoning codes so that residential, like maybe apartments, could be built over commercial property? In some communities, they have allowed people to add in-law apartments or convert their garages to small. You know, we have to be creative and innovative to figure out how we're going to do this, because we don't have a whole lot of land. it seems like the land we do have is being gobbled up by developers. For example, Howland Farms. There's going to be 7 home lots. Well, it's being determined now. I know some people are concerned about the wetland and the drainage and the septics, whatever. So we'll see. But those properties aren't going to be affordable housing, you can be sure. So how do we get affordable housing? I think that's a big, challenge to us all. People were asking me if I was for the Homestead Act, and I think we need to look at that. That's something that would benefit everybody, but does everybody need that benefit? Could we look at maybe a tiered tax system where residents who live in their homes pay one fee, people in Rhode Island that may have a second home or whatever will pay a second fee, people who own homes that they have for, short-term rentals or out of state, they would pay a third fee. I think we need to look at that because taxes are a shell game. It's either a property tax, an income tax, a sales tax, or commercial tax. So what you take away from one, you're going to give to another, but we have to be sure that we don't want to burden, businesses and commercials so that they don't want to, come here or expand. So I think it's something that, we need to be careful. We need to have income to run the town, but we need to be fair about it. So. I can't hear you.
I accidentally unplugged my mic.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It just died. Here we go. I think we're good. Can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you.
All right, excellent. Audrey, if people want to talk to you about any issues, if they want to find out more information, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, some of the ads that I put in Newport this week and the Newport Daily News that has my email, audjeamac@hotmail.com. My phone number is actually in the phone book. I'm one of these people that actually I still have a landline and my name is in the phone book. So my phone number is area code 401-847-2158.
Excellent. Well, we wish you the very best of luck in this upcoming election. I keep wanting to say November 3rd, but people are voting so much earlier this year. In the upcoming election, we wish you the very best of luck. And again, thank you for your service and thank you for all you do as a nurse.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And thank you for allowing me to have this opportunity. And,
of course.
Just as a reminder to everybody.
There you go. That's a good mask.
Okay.
All right, Audrey. Thank you very much. Audrey Pfeiffer. And she is looking for your vote in November, Middletown Town Council. And she's down there on the bottom half of the ballot. But of course, you should look through all the candidates. You should inform yourself before you go to vote, however you're going to vote. And we're providing plenty of opportunities to learn about all the candidates. You can find this video as well as many other candidates and many other videos on whatsupnewp.com now. Share with your friends, neighbors, and as well as anybody else you know in Middletown. I want to thank Audrey again for joining us. We'll be back next